Deep in the heart of the jungle, where the towering trees whisper ancient secrets and the rivers hum their endless songs, lives a family unlike any other. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and wildflowers, a world untouched by time, where life moves to the rhythm of nature itself. The calls of distant birds echo through the dense canopy, blending with the rustling of leaves as a warm breeze sweeps through. Here, beneath the emerald embrace of the forest, a family of gorillas thrives, bound together not by words, but by something far greater: love, loss, and an unbreakable loyalty that has guided them for generations. Through the dappled sunlight, a massive silverback stands tall, his dark, powerful form casting a shadow over the forest floor. His name is Kuba, a leader, a protector, and the heart of his family. His deep brown eyes scan the trees, always watching, always guarding. Beside him, his mate, Mala, cradles their young son, Tano, in her strong yet gentle arms. She hums a low, comforting sound, her fingers stroking the soft fur on his tiny head. Tano, full of boundless curiosity, reaches for a butterfly fluttering past, his small fingers grasping at the air, unaware of the watchful eyes that surround him. This is a family built on trust, on the silent promises exchanged through glances and touch. Every moment spent together strengthens their bond. Grooming, playing, foraging, each action is a testament to the love that holds them together. They have known peace, they have known joy, but the jungle is a world of contrasts, where beauty and danger intertwine. Unseen forces shift in the distance, a whisper of an approaching storm, a threat lurking just beyond the trees. For the gorilla family, life is about to change. The ties that bind them will be tested. Their strength, their love, and their loyalty will be pushed to the edge. In the heart of paradise, a trial awaits, one that will shake them to their very core. This is their story, a tale of love, loss, and the unyielding power of family. Kuba moves through the dense jungle with quiet confidence, his every step deliberate, his powerful frame cutting through the morning mist. He is more than just the leader of his family. He is their protector, their guide, the force that keeps them together. His silver-streaked back glistens under the golden rays filtering through the trees, a mark of both age and wisdom. He pauses, his deep brown eyes scanning the forest with quiet intensity, listening to the whispers of the jungle. Every rustle, every distant call carries meaning, and he understands them all. Not far behind, Mala watches her mate with admiration, her dark gaze softening as she holds their son close to her chest. Tano, still young and full of boundless energy, squirms in her embrace, eager to explore the world around him. With a patient sigh, she lets him go, watching as he stumbles forward on unsteady legs, his tiny hands reaching for the twisted vines that dangle from the towering trees above. He tugs at one, giggling as it sways back and forth, his laughter blending with the rustling leaves. Nearby, the rest of the family carries on with their daily routine. Django, the wise elder, sits beneath a massive fig tree, his long arms resting on his knees as he watches the younger ones with quiet amusement. His graying fur tells the story of a life well lived, of battles fought and lessons learned. He has seen many seasons come and go, and with each one, he has guided his family through both hardship and joy. Beside him, Baku, Kuba's younger brother, grooms a female, his fingers working through her thick fur with slow, deliberate movements. Their connection is silent but strong, a bond that needs no words. The morning is peaceful, the air filled with the soft sounds of contentment. Tano chases a butterfly, his small feet kicking up the damp earth as he moves, his excitement growing with each fluttering wing beat. But even as he plays, Kuba remains alert. His keen senses pick up the distant crack of a branch, the faintest shift in the wind. He knows this jungle well, and he knows that peace can be fleeting. Still, for now, he allows himself a moment of stillness, watching his son with quiet pride. Mala joins him, pressing her forehead gently against his. It is a gesture of love, of understanding, of a shared life built on trust. In this moment, they are simply a family, bound together by something greater than themselves. But the jungle is unpredictable, and danger often comes when it is least expected. What they do not know is that their world is about to change forever. The jungle hums with life, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming flowers. Birds call from the canopy, and the distant chatter of monkeys echoes through the trees. The gorilla family moves through their territory, unaware that their world is about to change. Kuba leads the way, his massive form moving effortlessly through the undergrowth. Mala follows closely, keeping a watchful eye on Tano, who bounds ahead, his small hands grabbing at vines as he swings clumsily from branch to branch. The others move at a steady pace, their presence a silent testament to the unity that has kept them safe for so long. But something is different today. The air is tense, the usual harmony of the forest disrupted by an unfamiliar sound, a rustling that does not belong to the wind, a distant crack that does not come from falling branches. Kuba stops, his muscles tensing as he lifts his head, nostrils flaring. His ears twitch, scanning the silence that has settled over the jungle like an invisible storm. Mala senses it too, her grip tightening around Tano's arm, gently but firmly pulling him close. Then, the first sign of danger, a sharp, unnatural snap of a twig, followed by a low murmur of voices. Humans, they are close, too close. Kuba's eyes darken as he lets out a deep, rumbling growl, a warning that is swallowed by the thick jungle. The family freezes, their instincts kicking in. Django shifts uncomfortably, his old eyes scanning the trees. Baku stiffens, his body poised to move at the first sign of threat. Then, chaos. A sudden explosion of noise, a loud bang, followed by the sharp cry of a frightened bird. Tano shrieks, startled, and in that instant, a trap is sprung. Mala pushes him away just as a hidden snare snaps shut around her leg, the thick rope biting into her flesh. She lets out a pained roar, struggling against the unseen force that drags her down. Tano screams for her, his tiny fists pounding the ground, his young mind unable to understand what is happening. Kuba reacts instantly, his powerful body lunging toward Mala, but another sound stops him. Footsteps, fast and heavy, approaching through the brush. The humans are coming. His mind races. He cannot fight what he cannot see, and his family is exposed. Another sharp bang rings through the air, and Kuba flinches, pain flashing through his shoulder as something grazes him. He lets out a furious roar, but Django is already moving, grabbing Tano and pulling him away. Mala thrashes, her eyes locking onto Kuba's in desperation. "Go," they seem to say. "Protect our son." But Kuba hesitates, his heart warring with his instincts. Then, more movement, more voices. There is no time. He lets out a deep, heartbroken growl before turning away, leading the others into the safety of the jungle. Tano cries out for his mother, his tiny body struggling against Django's firm grip, but the family does not stop. They cannot. Behind them, Mala's cries grow fainter, swallowed by the jungle. And then, silence. The jungle feels different now. The air is heavy, thick with an absence that cannot be ignored. The once familiar sounds of rustling leaves and distant animal calls seem quieter, subdued, as if the forest itself is mourning. The gorilla family moves in silence, their usual harmony replaced by a deep, unspoken grief. Kuba leads them, but his steps are slower, heavier. His powerful frame, once filled with strength and certainty, now carries the weight of an unbearable loss. His mate is gone, the one who stood by his side, who nurtured their son, who completed their family, taken from them in an instant. His deep-set eyes, once always watchful of the dangers around him, now seem lost in a distant sorrow. Behind him, Django holds on to Tano, the young gorilla's small body trembling in his grasp. Tano does not understand. He looks up at his father, his wide brown eyes searching for answers, but none come. He pulls away from Django's hold, stumbling forward toward Kuba, his tiny hands reaching out, desperate for comfort. Kuba turns, his gaze softening as he lifts his son into his arms. Tano presses his face against his father's chest, his small whimpers muffled by thick fur. The others remain close, their usual movements subdued. Baku, who once playfully wrestled with Tano, now sits still, his eyes fixed on the forest floor. Even the elder Django, wise and steady, seems shaken. There are no words in their world for what they have lost, no way to explain the empty space that now lingers between them. As night falls, the family finds shelter beneath the ancient trees. The soft glow of the moon filters through the canopy, casting shadows across the earth. Tano refuses to sleep, his small form curled against Kuba, his tiny hands clutching at his father's fur, as if afraid to let go. Kuba watches over him, his heart torn between grief and responsibility. He knows he must be strong, for his son, for his family. But how does one lead when their own heart is broken? He looks toward Django, who meets his gaze with quiet understanding. The old gorilla moves closer, pressing his forehead against Kuba's in a gesture of support, of remembrance. Mala is gone, but they are still here. Life moves forward, whether they are ready or not. The jungle does not stop for sorrow, and neither can they. The night passes slowly, the weight of loss pressing upon them all. But in the silence, in the closeness of their shared grief, a promise remains unspoken. Mala will not be forgotten. They will carry her with them, in their hearts, in their bond, in the love that still holds them together. Morning breaks, but the warmth of the rising sun does little to ease the weight of sorrow hanging over the family. The jungle continues as it always has. Birds call from the treetops, insects hum in the undergrowth, and the wind whispers through the leaves. Yet, for the gorilla family, everything has changed. Kuba moves first, his body slow but determined. The others follow, their movements careful, hesitant. Tano clings to his father's back, his small arms wrapped tightly around the thick fur. He has barely spoken since Mala was taken, his once playful energy replaced by quiet confusion. He watches the world around him with wide, searching eyes, as if expecting his mother to appear from the trees at any moment. As they walk, Django keeps close, his presence steady and reassuring. He has seen loss before, knows the way it lingers, how it changes those left behind. He does not speak, but his eyes meet Kuba's with quiet understanding. The weight of leadership is heavier now, but Kuba cannot allow himself to falter. His family needs him. Tano needs him. They stop near a clearing, where the sun spills onto the forest floor in golden streaks. Tano hesitates, then slowly climbs down from his father's back. He moves toward a patch of soft earth, his small fingers tracing patterns in the dirt. The others watch as he presses his tiny hand against the ground, leaving an imprint. For a moment, there is only silence. Then, with a deep breath, Kuba moves beside him, pressing his own massive hand into the earth beside his son's. A silent acknowledgement, a promise. Time passes, and little by little, life finds its rhythm again. Tano begins to play once more, cautiously at first, but then with more energy. He chases after falling leaves, mimics the calls of birds, and even tugs playfully at Baku's arm. The others respond, their spirits lifting just slightly as they watch the young gorilla rediscover the joy of movement, of connection. One afternoon, as the family rests in the shade, Tano does something unexpected. He stands tall, puffing out his chest the way his father does when surveying their surroundings. His small face is serious, his posture strong. It is an imitation of Kuba, a sign that he is watching, learning. Kuba notices, his gaze softening. He reaches out, pulling his son close, resting his forehead against Tano's. The message is clear. He is not alone. He never will be. They have lost, but they have also endured. Their love remains, unbroken by tragedy. The jungle continues, and so must they. And through it all, no matter what may come, they will face it together. Seasons change, and with them, so does the jungle. The rains come and go, washing over the dense canopy, feeding the rivers that carve through the land. The trees grow taller, their roots digging deeper into the earth. And within this ever-changing world, the gorilla family continues their journey, moving forward as they always have. Kuba leads them with steady strength, his presence a pillar of protection and guidance. Though the pain of loss still lingers in the depths of his heart, he has learned to carry it, not as a burden, but as a reminder of the love that once was. He does not forget, nor does he allow himself to be consumed by sorrow. He watches over his family, ensuring their safety, their survival. It is his duty, and he will not fail them. Tano has grown. No longer the small, stumbling infant who once clung to his mother's side, he now moves with confidence, his young body strong and agile. He plays with the others, wrestles with Baku, mimics the calls of the elders, but beneath his playful energy lies something deeper, a quiet resilience, a wisdom beyond his years. He has known loss, felt its weight, and yet he continues forward. One evening, as the sun begins to set, the family gathers near the edge of a wide river. The water reflects the sky in hues of orange and gold, the gentle current carrying fallen leaves downstream. Tano sits beside his father, watching the way the light dances on the surface. He does not speak, but his presence is enough. Kuba looks at his son, seeing in him the echoes of the past and the promise of the future. He remembers Mala in the way Tano moves, in the warmth of his eyes, in the small moments of tenderness that still remain. And though she is gone, she is not lost. She lives on in Tano, in the family they have built, in the love that has never faded. As the night settles over the jungle, the family rests, huddled close beneath the ancient trees. The world is vast, unpredictable, ever-changing, but together they are unbreakable. They have endured love, loss, and hardship. They have found strength in one another, even when the darkness threatened to consume them. And as Tano drifts to sleep, his tiny hand resting against his father's, Kuba knows one thing for certain. No matter what lies ahead, they will always have each other. And in the heart of the jungle, that is all that truly matters. The jungle awakens with the first light of dawn, golden beams piercing through the dense canopy, illuminating the world below. Birds sing their morning songs, and the rhythmic hum of insects fills the air. Life moves forward, as it always has, as it always will. Kuba rises first, his massive frame stretching as he surveys the land before him. He takes a deep breath, the crisp morning air filling his lungs. Around him, the family begins to stir. Django shifts from his resting place, his wise eyes scanning the horizon. Baku stretches his long arms, shaking off the night's stillness. And Tano, now stronger, now older, yawns as he sits up, rubbing his eyes with small fists before blinking at the world with curiosity. But today feels different. A shift in the air, a silent pull toward something unseen. As they move through the jungle, Kuba picks up a scent, faint, yet familiar. His heartbeat quickens. His steps become more purposeful. The others notice, following him as he leads them toward an unknown destination, their trust in him unwavering. And then they see her. At the edge of a small clearing, near a fallen tree, a figure sits in the dappled sunlight. Her fur is thinner, her body smaller than before, but there is no mistaking her presence. Mala. Tano freezes, his breath hitching as his young mind tries to comprehend what his eyes are seeing. Kuba steps forward, his heart pounding. Mala looks up, her deep brown eyes meeting his, filled with emotions too vast to be spoken. She is alive, she is here. The air is thick with hesitation, as if the moment itself is fragile, too delicate to be real. But then Tano moves, his tiny feet carrying him forward before he even understands what he is doing. He lets out a cry, a sound of recognition, of longing, of hope. Mala opens her arms, and in an instant, the family is whole again. Tano collapses into her embrace, his small hands grasping at her fur as if afraid she will disappear once more. Mala hums softly, her voice trembling with emotion as she presses her face against his. Kuba moves closer, his massive form lowering as he reaches out, touching her gently, as if needing to confirm she is real. The others gather around, the air thick with emotion, with understanding. Mala has been through something none of them can fully comprehend. She bears the scars of her absence, the weight of time spent away. But she is home. And for this family, that is all that matters. The jungle continues to hum, unaware of the miracle that has just unfolded within its depths. But for the gorilla family, this is a new beginning. A story rewritten, a promise fulfilled. Love, loss, and loyalty, the ties that bind them, unbroken.